Once again, Gentleman Jim here, the Tailor.
And Victoria Baylor, professional dressmaker. Hey guys.
How y'all doing?
This is our weekly show, The Tailor and the Dressmaker, and we are happy that you are joining us.
Happy.
Super happy. We're super excited. You might think we're always excited, but that's kind of true. We are talking about our favorite topic, which is sewing in general. Mm-hmm. But we're especially excited about this month. June is our Sewing Entrepreneur Month.
Right.
We are focusing on that. Now, why is that so? Why are we so passionate about that, Mr. Jim, the Sewing Entrepreneur?
Well, we're independent. Okay. Entrepreneurs, as they say, business people. There's a lot of different cliches that people use. I'm going to give you one that my son gave me years ago. He said, what you aspire to do is sign the front of the check.
Oh, okay.
That's what my son gave me years ago.
It's like the Jeffersons theme music, just moving on up.
That's right. See, because when you sign the front of the check, you're in control of the situation. When you endorse the back, and there's nothing wrong with endorsing the back. When you endorse the back, that means your goods have come to you.
Cha-ching.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, it is really great to reach that level of status and fulfillment and power, not in a like money grubbing sort of way, but in a kind of growth sort of way. Mm-hmm. So we're committed to the Sewing Entrepreneur because we know that a lot of people have a misunderstanding on what it takes to get started, and we want to squelch all that today, don't we? Don't we?
Right.
A lot of you are just like 2 steps, maybe a half a step away from jumping out there and doing some amazing things, but you may have a little intrepidation about the process of starting a business. So we want to kind of get you over that hurdle.
Sure.
Because the pros far exceed the cons, right? When it comes to starting a business.
They really do. It's a matter of, am I going to continue talking about it, or am I going to do it?
That's right.
Because like you said, most people are that close to doing it, and most people are doing it anyway. But what they haven't done was taken better, and I'm going to say better steps at making it happen, making it a reality, protecting your back, making sure that you have certain things in order. And we're going to talk about things in order and things you don't need immediately.
Absolutely. So starting a business couldn't be the most easiest process. I don't even think it really matters where you live. I think we see businesses and people see like huge corporations such as Walmart or like Sam's. They're like, I'm this little person, how am I going to start a business? But truth be told, really, really easy to start a business. I started mine, and Mr. Jim and I will just share our quick stories. I started mine based on, I thank God for my dad who encouraged me to do it because I felt like I needed 10 years of experience before I could get out there sewing for other people. And after 2 years of sewing and really working hard to hone my craft, I opened a business. Now, I cried the whole month that I opened it, and I've told people about that. You know, that's just the fear and intimidation and stuff like that. But I was surprised to figure out that the logistics for starting a business was really, really easy.
It really is.
It was only like a 3-step process.
It really,
I needed
really
certain types of documents. I needed to get an okay on something, and then I needed to, make sure I was cool with the state. So we can go through that real fast.
Yeah.
Real simple. And every process may be different, so you definitely want to Google how do I open a business in my state or my place, because every state has its own rules.
Has its own rules.
But here in Georgia, it was really simple. I needed to secure a business license.
Absolutely.
So I had to go to the right place, get a business license. I need to determine how much I thought I was going to make, the name of my business, all that good stuff. And in order to get the license, I had to decide whether I was going to be a sole proprietorship, LLC, corporation, blah, blah. I was a sole proprietorship. That is the easiest way to start a business. Go ahead and elaborate on that.
When you start one, that's the best way.
Yes.
Because
you're starting.
You're starting, and you don't really know what the outcome's going to be. So when you start it, you want to be a sole proprietorship. Too many of you, listen to me, too many of you rush out and they want, I got to incorporate. I have to get a lawyer. I have to get an accountant. Number one, until you really start making a whole lot of serious money, the corporation thing protects you against what? Creditors and debtors.
That's right. So they don't come after your own personal assets.
Right. See, now, when you start a business, most of the time, especially a small business, you really don't have that. Now, if you take out a personal loan or something like that, that's a little different.
That's a little different, but you're right.
But what you taking out a personal loan for? If you operate out of your house, you get your license and you let them know this is where I'm operating out of my house.
And that brings up part 2. So, Mr. Jim, as he mentioned, so you got your sole proprietorship. Don't go crazy trying to get all this other stuff. Just bypass that. You want to get started. The second thing was zoning. Once I got my license, or I think that was a part of it, they wanted to make sure where are you trying to have this business.
That's right.
And there were some stipulations on the zoning. I do have, it's in my home, so if it's subdivision, so I can't have like a line of cars. I can't have people coming in and out all the time. But discreetly, if someone comes in, picks up something, this and that, that is permissible. I can't have any signage on my property that promotes the fact that I have a business. So I can't do little things like that. But I got Facebook pages. People know I get a ton of referrals. So, but anyway. That's the second part, zoning. You want to speak to anything about
commercial, same thing. When you go to get a business license, they will ask you, where are you going to have this located at? There are some areas where you can't do certain things. Now, the good thing about what we do, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
You can do it anywhere.
We could shoot this video in the bathroom. But I mean, you're talking about sewing.
Yeah, we're talking about it. See, because some businesses require, if it's a food service business, then you got to get all that preparation license.
Oh, gosh,
we're in the sewing business, okay?
Right.
If it's some type of business, you have to have so many parking spaces. We're not in that. We get a client in, a client out. 2 clients in, 1 client out, another client in. It's a very slow process of a parking regulation thing.
And then I could always travel to my clients if I need to too. So and if I found myself in a situation where I have clients pouring in, or my work starts to spill over in my space and it's not big enough, then it's time to upgrade. But just to get started. Don't make this complicated. It's real simple.
It really is.
Start ground level, build up. And that's actually read somewhere, that is the biggest reason why people don't launch. Their goals and their thoughts are way too lofty.
Too large.
I can tell you this much. You play around and don't launch if you want to. And I rarely take this kind of approach or frankness with anybody. You fool around, there'll be people walking circles around you who have done it with much less. And the only reason I can say that is I feel like that in my case, there's been times where I hesitated, and I've seen people with way less qualified, way less skill. They just launch out there and do it.
That's right.
I'm like, what am I doing? Wasting time with intrepidation.
The first step of any road that you travel down is the first step. And that's to get in the game.
There you go.
I talk about this all the time. Get in the game. Now, once you get in the game, now I'm going to come back to my favorite topic. Be prepared. Make sure that your skills, your quality of your garments, your work, everything is the best. Because just like you can open, you can close. Because the thing what we have today is called social media. You can do good work, and overnight you can become an instant success. You can do bad work, and overnight they can wreck you, because they will start posting, the work's no good over there, I wouldn't go there if I was you, and just like the blink of an eye, you could be on a spiral going downward.
That's right.
Just like the blink of an eye, you could be on a spiral going up and away.
That's right. So it could go either way.
Either way. So don't be afraid to open the business, because most of you guys are in business anyway. You just haven't so-called legitimized it.
That is the truth.
Why do we legitimize it?
And that is a good point, because I don't even want to start talking about tax perks of legitimizing. But before we do that, that one last thing. So we talked about launching a business, getting your business license, getting everything registered, stuff like that. You will deal with zoning. The third thing I know here in Georgia we had to deal with, of course, is the state. You have to pay state taxes on certain things. So I had to register for a sales and use license. Not very hard. You just go to the state tax office, you carry your business license, tell them what you need, they get you signed up. I swear within like a week or so, maybe less than 2, you're ready to go. To your point, yes, I've met a ton of people that have been doing the work without legitimizing. By doing that, you are missing out on some of the best tax benefits you can have by having a business. When my dad encouraged me to start my business at the time, I didn't own a home at that time, and I hadn't had a kid. So Uncle Sam was having a heyday with my taxes. We lived in an apartment, no child. So either way, fast forward, when you start a business, everything attributed to launching that business, all the cost, fees associated with buying supplies, buying your fabric, mileage associated with going places with that business, you can deduct all of those things off of your taxes.
Now let me say this too. You open the business in your home, you can deduct part of your mortgage.
I used about 10% of my home, so everything from my utilities to my
That's
cable to my everything,
Oh,
the
yeah.
mortgage itself, pest control. I mean, you think it's crazy, but
Everything,
whatever that
everything.
goes into the home,
If you need a new roof on your house,
part of that gets
how you
deducted.
deduct that?
So now, of course, you want to go to your your tax professional, and you want to do all everything because you don't get a
Don't wanna
situation where
overstep
you
your bounds.
get there's no auditing. Trust me, I have a tax professional, so and so is Mr. Jim. So we make sure that we are working within the correct confines. But a lot of people don't realize that, and that's the main reason why I get a really nice return almost every year.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
It's
Now,
not nice. I
with
want it,
that
but it's
too,
nice.
If you live in an apartment
Yeah,
and you set aside a room, deduct part of that too. It's not so much the mortgage part,
that's right.
but it's the business operational cost.
That's where I started. Was in the apartment.
When you
here.
buy toilet paper, you can deduct it. You buy hand towels, you can deduct that. Part of it.
Yes, whatever you put into the business, and that's really great because there's times I've traveled across country to do. We've done conferences.
Sure. Travel expense.
Oh my gosh, you're paying for airfare,
Gas,
car rentals,
all
all
of the
that
above.
stuff. So if you haven't considered it, I mean, think about what you're missing out on. Now, one thing we will caution you is that if you are not going to run your business like a business, and if it turns back into like a hobby, caution you that because the government will only give you a few years to kind of get up on your feet and turn a profit. And I think the standard is about 3 years. So if you're always, underwater every time,
Yeah, something's wrong.
Something's wrong. You can't go too long. Now, it's to start with. I just started a second business myself. I don't expect it. Well, I do later on, but if I don't make as much as I want, or everything gets sucked up into what I paid out my pocket, the government's for about 3 years is like that's to be expected.
Yeah.
But your aim is to make profit, to go on and do big things, and like Mr. Jim say, to get in there, get started, so that doors will open for you, and you can have some great opportunities.
That's
So
it.
that's that.
I have a phrase that I use that comes from my early years in New York when I was growing up. I started my business with the old cliche we use, $2 in the rent money.
Oh, that's a good one. You're telling me about that. That's
Now,
a really good one.
$2 in the rent money. Every time I've opened up a business, even later in life when I've been successful, I never needed more than $2 in the rent money. So let me break that down. The rent money was always, because I've done brick and mortar, was the rent, securities that I need, the utility securities
Yeah, your
that I
deposits.
need, all of those, I package all of that under rent. Those are operating expenses. What's the $2 for? Man told me a long time ago, if you got $2, you can eat every day. That's all the $2 was for. Because when I go into business, I've gotten immediate results. So meaning, if I just make $2 every single day, that means I can eat. Because rent's already paid for the month until it kicks in. So that was my phrase, $2 and the rent money. A lot of times in business seminars and whatnot, they will tell you about having a cushion. 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, whatever the case might
That'd
be.
be nice.
See, but if you're good, like I tell all of my students, the business will find you very, very quickly.
That's
to
right.
where I have several of my students now have so much business they have to turn it away.
That's right.
They just started. They just started.
That's right.
They just started. See, why are they successful? It's because they have taken the foundation of sewing and have perfected it to the point of where the work that they give their clientele tells the next potential client for them. That's how you build a business.
The referral system is
You
an
know,
awesome
the
networking.
best one that you can have. And now with social media, you get a chance to do something, post it online. One of the young ladies, I'm not mentioning names, that's right here in Savannah. She does alterations, post it. We're talking about alteration business. She makes a new garment, post it. Well, what does it say? Altered by whoever and whoever, made by whoever and whoever. They get a chance to visually see this. Cyberspace. They didn't have this when I started, but they got it now.
And if you don't have a fancy website, I have like a Facebook page for my as a portfolio for my business. It's a virtual one. I know everybody doesn't have it Facebook, so always keep that in mind. I'm going to upgrade to a website. But because I do a referral system mainly, they can go there. They can see my portfolio of work. Like you said, I like to post, alter it, all that kind of stuff you can do. One great set of advice I got, I think from Darren Harden. Yes, he's a success speaker, motivational speaker, really great guy out there. He made a really good point. I think he quoted someone else. He said, find a few things, do them well, and stick to them.
There you go.
This whole I got to be a master of everything mess does not work. I promise you. If you could do one or two or just three things expertly, you've gotten your market, and you can launch your business. You know, so
from that point, see, you can add to it.
Yeah.
Look.
But you got to start somewhere, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just, mama hens here, trying to push the little duckies out because we too have been at that point. I don't know with Mr. Jim. I know he had great mentorship and he started, but me having to kind of really launch out on my own, I understand that fear and that kind of concern. But like I said, a lot of people have done it with a lot less than you.
Oh yeah.
But there is no you. You are unique in your perspective and what your gifts are. Man, go give the world that.
You better.
That's right.
You better. It starts out a lot of times as a hobby.
It does. That's where I started.
Side hustle.
Yeah.
When the side hustle becomes more than the regular work status that you're in, that's the time to go. That's the time to go full phase into.
And that's the thing. I'm happy you said that because I actually worked a full-time job for a lot of years. It's only recently, within the last 3 years, I've been self-employed solely. So even with that, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to just cut everything off and just jump straight into it. You know, you want to make wise decisions. If you're not at that point financially where you can do that, work your job, work your side hustle, do it, work it as a business, which is I did legitimately and had a full-time job. Do that, and then when you're ready to cut that off, then cut your full-time gig off, and then just go out there.
Now let me tell you something about that too.
What's that?
You cut that regular job off, let me tell you what you lose. You lose
benefits. No, I'm joking.
The benefits. That's what it is. It's the benefits. You lose vacation time.
You lose a lot of stuff.
You lose
a good salary if you
sick
have one.
time. You lose. What do you call it? PTO, personal time off.
A lot of
you
stuff,
lose that. You have to get your own insurance if you have some type of insurance plan. These are the things you lose, but listen to what you gain with that. If you make enough money, you put aside some vacation money.
That's right.
You put aside a little sick time. Well, I don't want to work today. Okay. You get insurance. Insurance is not as bad in today's world. When I first started working many years ago, the companies that I worked for paid for insurance outright. Now there are still some companies that do that, some of the real mega companies, but most companies don't do that. What do? They put you in a little group plan.
Yeah.
You still have to pay for that.
And if you have a spouse that's working, which is my case, then since having to clip and go self-employed, then I can actually just jump onto his thing. But you want to just make really sound decisions. Don't let your heart and your trust me. If you want to make this happen, it will happen. Just remember there are steps. What we wanted to do in this segment was just kind of get you to climb up those steps real quick and go ahead and get your business license.
That's right.
Because it doesn't take that long.
Started.
That's right. Okay, so I think we done preached enough. Okay. Hopefully you know it's love. We care about you guys. Right. And we're just excited to see your stuff. If you do have a business, feel free to post it below the YouTube video. We would love to go visit, chat with us. On that note, we're going to wrap it up real fast. Victoria Baylor.
Gentleman Jim.
And don't forget, God is giving you unique gifts, goals, desires, all that wonderful stuff, not to be kept to yourself. Go out there and share it with the world, and we look forward to seeing that.
And remember, sign the front of the check.
That's right, big baller. All right, take care.
All right, bye now.
Bye.